All right. Here we are at another episode of Behind the Streams. Today we are joined by none other than Mr. FNB. Mr. FNB, say hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Appreciate you doing this. Look at you live on stream.
Not too bad, not too bad. Hope you're doing well today, man. How's it going?
Going great, going great. I'm always nervous that things are going to break and fall apart, but hey, that's just part of it, I think.
I know what you mean.
And one of the most obvious things a lot of times that really isn't ever talked about, and with a name as unique as yours, it kind of does lend itself to the question of where did the username come from? Why first name but?
My name originally came from whenever I was probably like 16 or 17. I had like my Xbox, and I think it was my Xbox 360 actually, and I named it. I named it first name but. You know how you could like name your console? You know, because I used my console mainly for music. My buddies had a huge music library. So I would take my buddy's music, and then I would have to like burn it onto CDs. I don't know if any of it even does that anymore, but my computer doesn't even have a CD-ROM drive. But I'd burn the CDs, then I'd put them into the Xbox and like burn the music onto the Xbox. It was like a 20 gig, hard drive. So I filled it up with music, and I would listen to music all the time. But yeah, I had like the main name of that Xbox was first name Bugs. I thought it was really funny to say first name but last name head. I just thought it was really funny to say it. It always made me laugh to myself, and I used to say it like just silly. And I don't know. Whenever I thought about making a YouTube channel, I was like, that's what it's got to be. It was like the first thing that came to my mind was like it has to be that. So it's kind of just silly. But then there's like this whole like I asked my wife, to like I was like, can you draw me like a Mario as like a butt as a head, you know? And that's like the original, like the Twitch picture is like that original picture that she drew that everybody thinks is very suggestively not a butt, but it is a butt, I assure you. That's one thing I've noticed about streaming is like when you stream like on the regular, I know with me like streaming early in the morning, like I do because it's like the one stream I can like dedicate to like a regular time, is that morning like 2:30 a.m. stream, which is crazy. But like there's a lot of people that are like even like in the hospital and stuff, and it's crazy. Like they'll find you from like just where they had a hospital stay, so they're just chilling, and then all of a sudden it's like what, you know, randomness, and it's fun.
Who or kind of what made FNB decide to start streaming?
Mainly I was kind of like you. I had never even like I'd heard of Twitch, but I'd never even checked it out. And I had started streaming on YouTube just a little bit, just because of basically I thought it'd be fun. I was like, like I'd seen like YouTube live streams basically because like we were kind of like away from YouTube for a long time because I live in the country, so we didn't have internet. And so like once we did get internet, it was like, oh, there's like YouTube and stuff, and then like I basically did YouTube because I just wanted to like save like videos. Like I wanted to just stay like an area to like save videos that would be there forever. Like even if I died, like the videos would just be there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like the main thing, and I don't know. It's I just really thought it'd be a fun thing, and I didn't think it would actually like go anywhere, to tell you the truth. I just thought like, oh, like this is different. Like I already really enjoyed making videos. Like I thought it was such a fun thing because for me it was so new. Like, and it wasn't even really about like getting views. It was mainly, like I said, about saving like this game, Super Mario 35. I wanted to save that game, like the me playing it. If you go back to like my very first videos, it's basically just me playing Super Mario 35. I don't even play it that well. Like if I could play it now, I would be like so good at the game. Like because it was before I played Kaizo. I didn't even know about Kaizo when I started like recording videos. I didn't even know what Kaizo Mario was and anything like that. So my son had like suggested Super Mario Maker 2, and I checked it out, and then like slowly got into like the Kaizo sphere, I guess, and was like, this is crazy. I used to hate shell jumping. I was like, this is stupid. Why would anybody do this? This is so hard. I hated
Agrees.
it. I was like, I'll never do shell jumps. There was another creator that me and him would play together, and me and him just didn't like them. And then I started doing them. I started learning shell jumps, and I was like, I felt so excited about it. But yeah, the streaming though was like, just seemed like something fun because I had a lot of fun just uploading videos. Even though I'd get like 5 or 10 views, I was so stoked. And it still was amazing. 5 or 10 people checked it out. So it's still an amazing thing. So for me, I was really engrossed by like just the whole, like, connectivity of it, and, like I said, the internet I'd had the internet my whole life, but then, like, whenever we started living on our own, it was like, we just didn't have internet in our area, so once we got it, it was, like, totally opened up all these things. It was kinda cool,
Right.
but very, like, didn't really realize what I was even getting myself into. But streaming was cool too because it was just like something different. I was just like, okay, I can like play this game live. And then with Mario Maker 2, you could play people's levels live. They could just send you their level code, and that was like a whole other thing because I was already kind of doing that. People would be like, "Oh, you play my level," and they'd put their code in like the YouTube comment section, and I'd play their level and make a video about it, So it was cool. It was interesting, It's a lot different than now, which is what's wild even thinking back that far.
And I've actually never heard of Mario 35, so that I don't
Really?
yeah, I don't know, I'm not even sure what that one is. I mean, I know Mario
Oh my
64.
god.
I'm guessing that.
Super Mario 35 is, like, one of the best games that ever came out. It's online, Mario Brothers, like, the first Mario Brothers, and it's 35 people. It's like a lobby. You're all playing the same, like, first level, right? And, like, say me and you are playing, if I jump on a Goomba, that Goomba might get sent, or I can purposefully send that Goomba to your game. And there's a timer, and every time you jump on an enemy, the timer increases. So the point is to keep your time as long as possible, like keep going. But when you run across like Bowser or any other enemy, Hammer Brothers, any of those bad enemies, you can send them to someone else's game. And it was like the funnest game. I loved it so much. And then they took it away. Like I played it for about a month, and then I found out they were taking it away. It was for the 35th excuse me 35th anniversary for Mario, and
Oh
I
wow.
was just like, no, why would they take it away?
Yeah,
And
that's such a
then they
good
took it
thing
away,
going.
and then before they took it away, my son was like, "Oh, there's this game Super Mario Maker 2, you might enjoy it, dad." And I was like, "Oh, let me check it out." I was like, "I can make my own levels." And then I got into that. But yeah, Super Mario 35 is what made me like start making videos. It's because I just wanted to save those videos because I was like, "They're taking it away. Will it ever come back?" Like it was just such a cool game to me. So I wanted to make videos of me playing it just to have for like when I'm old, I could show my grandkids like, "Hey, look, I used to play this cool game." I don't know. It's
That's
silly.
that is really cool. Like I said, I have never even heard of that game, and
That's
like
deep
just
lore
like you
right
said,
there.
that is awesome that you streamed it for that reason. If anybody wants to see it now, they if they search Mario 35, the odds of them finding your original video is pretty high because nobody's making that content anymore. So
That's
that
funny.
is really cool. So how long have I mean? Obviously, I don't even remember Mario 35 being a thing. So that goes way back. How long have you been streaming?
Well, I've been recording videos on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for 5 years, and then it was a year into recording videos on YouTube that I decided to start streaming on YouTube. And then I think maybe it was like in December of that year that I started. So it was like 2021, I think, because yeah, I've been on there 5 years. So 2021 of like February, I started YouTube, and then of December, I started streaming. I think around December, I think, and then and I believe in the early summer, springtime, I started streaming on Twitch just as like a separate thing because I'd never heard of it, and it was totally new to me. And yeah, so I started doing that. Like I'd split the streams up. I'd do like YouTube sometimes and then Twitch sometimes, and kind of back and forth.
Oh, okay. So it been. I mean, I've heard of several people that's been streaming for like 10 plus years. So you actually haven't. That's really impressive. I mean, I know 5 years is nothing to scoff at, but the amount of followers that you have on Twitch and YouTube, and the amount of people that you've accumulated in your community and all in just 5 years, that's very impressive. Like I really thought you had been streaming longer than that. That's really
Well,
cool.
thanks, man.
Do you still ever find yourself like getting anxiety about a stream or anything before you go live? Are you getting do you get anxious or nervous? And if you do, how do you deal with that?
I do get sometimes I might get a little nervous just like depending on if I am say I'm playing a game that is new to me basically, or if I'm playing something like if I'm play testing a game for like a company that's like, oh hey, like we have a play test, would you like to play our game? Or hey, there's this pre-release of our game, would you like to test it? Because sometimes I get to do stuff like that, which is really fun. But sometimes with those things, I get a little nervous because I feel like, oh, I probably need to like present myself a little more professionally because I'm I'm not really representing anybody, but it's like, I want to make a good impression. So other companies will, maybe be like, oh, this guy's nice or whatever. But yeah, I don't really have too much of a preparation. I might pace a little bit and drink all my tea before the stream starts and then have to go get a refill of tea before the starting soon screen's over, you
I
know?
gotcha.
Yeah.
So how many how many games have you like gotten to I guess beta test?
Oh lordy. Last year there were a ton. At the end of the year and then like the beginning of this year too, there's been a bunch of people that have emailed me, but I really haven't been able to do any of it because I've just been so focused on my stuff that I've got going on. I got too many projects going on, and when I do stream, I like to stream Mario. It's just a fun game. But I think I was gonna make a video about it, but there were, I believe, 12 or 15 games last year that I got to either like playtest or pre-play before the game came out, to just to kind of showcase the game like a day or two before it came out, or give active feedback on, the game. So it's kind of cool, like talking to devs and stuff like that, and just kind of seeing, like, oh, there's a Steam page and all this stuff because I'm doing a lot of stuff now. But it was cool. It's a cool experience, which I guess for them, at the time I didn't realize it, but for a lot of these companies, they just want people to see their games. So they're like pretty much willing to let anybody to play. They just want people to play their game because they want people to see it. The more people see it, then you know it's better for their game. They at least can get a demo download and then maybe a buy. So a lot of people are like just kind of wanting eyes on it, which is cool for me. I mean, and a lot of times we get to keep the game. So then, like, my son loves it because me and him share a Steam account. My younger son, so like he gets to play all the games. I'm like, hey man, got a new game. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, I think it was a lot last year, 12 or 15, somewhere around there. 'Cause I was gonna make a video about it, but I got sidetracked with other stuff going on.
You did mention Kaizo. Obviously, that is where your biggest follower base comes from. I mean, anybody that plays Kaizo or is around Kaizo will hear, first name Bud, or at least FNB, for the abbreviation. And like I said, for no other reason, because of all of the hacks that you've put out, and like I said, everybody loves your streams. Um, so, do you happen to remember when you started playing Kaizo, what was your first hack?
So my first hack was a hack called Nameless Kaizo World Light by his name at the time was O Muramatsu, but he goes by a different name now. But I believe it's still like a variation of Muramatsu. I believe he's a Brazilian creator. I think he's Brazilian.
I got you.
Really good hack, like 5 levels. There's actually another one called Nameless Kaizo World, which is really fun, but it's a much harder version. But there's not very many levels. I highly recommend it. Super fun hack.
I think I've seen people play that one, but I don't remember. So in that same arena of your first hack, uh, what would you say? And I don't mean actual like SMW community their rating, because I've got my own opinions of their rating system, especially with the way they keep rebranding all of it. But to you, what is the hardest hack that you've beaten?
Hardest hack that I've beaten? Oh lordy. Let's see. I would either say Baron of Shell or Super Mawaru World. Those were both
Really?
exceptionally tough hacks. Super Mawaru was really fun, but the levels were really long, and there was one level in particular that took me 30 hours because it was snake blocks, and I'd never played a level of snake blocks until that level, and it was a Kaizo level naturally, where you have to like guide the snake blocks by your D-pad inputs,
I
and then you
remember
also are
watching you
doing
play that
Kaizo
one.
tricks.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that
was
was
brutal. I
that
think I
was
actually took a break
wild.
from that and came back to it, and then I finally beat it, and it was a tough level. But yeah, those snake blocks were just so hard for me. I didn't have any experience with them. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But yeah, those hacks were pretty tough. Baron of Shell at the time, it's still a very hard hack. Even now, like Baron of Shell takes me hours if I'm gonna beat it. I could probably beat it in one sitting, but it'd be very, very tough to beat in one sitting.
Um, I'm not gonna lie. When before I asked that question, I honestly thought the answer was probably going to be Dram 3, but
Well, I haven't beaten Dram 3. I stopped at
oh,
Dram 3.
okay,
You said hacks I've beaten. Dram 3
gotcha.
is pretty tough, but yeah, I stopped at level 16 because to be honest, it made me mad. The hack was making me mad, and I was like, okay, because I can't save state, and I don't have anything against it, but I can't personally do it on my Super NTs. So I was like, some of the stuff I think it was like a rhythm based level that I just really wasn't jiving with, and I was just like, okay, I got to work on my game. I got to work on the game. It's I got to do these things. These are more important because I was stuck on Dram for like I think every level was taking me average of like 15 to 20 hours, which is just
Jeez.
insane to think about.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. The fact that you made it that far just is crazy.
Yeah, 16 levels out of like what 28 or something I think is in the hack. It's
Yeah.
nuts. It's a very hard hack. It's a great hack, but it's very very tough.
It is one that I will watch others play, but I will not try myself.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Play Arcadia by Dom. Arcadia is very very fun. It's like Dram 3 light. Very 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 good hack.
Do you have like a favorite hack creator? Like if you see that so and so has released a new hack, you're like, I've got to go play that one.
I don't know. Let's see. I know Fry and B. He's a very good creator. I really like his stuff. If he released a hack today, I would stream it in the morning. I would probably stream it the rest of the week and play it more than likely because his level design is very very good. He made what's that shell hack? Shellax. He made Shellax. Day at the Turkey races. Let's see the other one. One other one I can't think of. I can't think of the name. It's on the tip of my tongue though. But he's made quite a few hacks that are really good, and I think his level design is just peak, just very good. Yeah, Fry NB is his name. People actually confuse us because people call me FNB, and he's Fry NB. So people will think whenever people say FNB for a long time, people would think they were actually doing a typo. It's
I
kind of
got you.
funny. Yeah.
I think I've heard of Shellax, but I've never heard of Day at the Turkey Races.
Oh, Date Trick Races is fun. There's a couple levels that are kind of like tough, but it's a fun hack all in all. It's actually a really funny hack. The overworld's like a baseball stadium, and there's a bunch of Mario and like Nintendo characters in the stands. It's really cool.
So I'm going to kind of revamp a couple of the questions that I normally would ask here because I already know the answer, and I prepared this. Didn't tell you I did. Um, so we've talked about the hacks that you've made. Um, I thought it would be a good idea for everyone to just see the list. So here we are on stream. There is the list of FNB hacks. Uh, the top one there, Shalab, I realize is not an FNB exclusive. He did collaborate with a few other
Yeah, some
creators,
of those are collaborations.
but
Yeah.
he has been involved in, I believe this is 22 different hacks. Like I said, as far as I know, probably has the most hacks out there, and you see that they range from uh, advanced to expert to intermediate. I grabbed all of these before stream, so this is their newest rating system until they change it next week. Um, but 22 hacks. That is absolutely wild. As with this extensive list of 22 hacks, do you have one that you're kind of I don't necessarily want to say the most proud of, but one that you like the best? Like, is there one that, leaving the difficulty out, like to you, is your favorite hack that you've made?
Oh lordy. It's funny because I get this question kind of often, and it's kind of funny because all of them are kind of different in their own way. Like for the collaboration hacks, like for like MFC or You Shall Not Pass, or like those hacks specifically. Like I didn't do like any of the graphics for those hacks, so like those are like beautiful beautiful hacks, but it's like I can't take any credit for the graphics, just my levels that I made, which were a lot, like half the hack on some of those. And for me, I guess one of my favorites would be Super WoW is fun because a lot of people received it well, and it was just a fun hack to watch people play because of the silly gimmicks I put in it that were like hopefully not too hard, but a lot of people seem to have fun with it. But then like Buddy Shell 2 is like a tough hack, which I really like the setups in it, and I wished I'd made the levels longer, you know. And it even has like one of my favorite tricks. It's like the nastiest trick. Like everybody hates that. It's like a double up throw. You throw the shell up, throw the P switch up, and then so you bonk. You grab you jump off of something as you're throwing up the shell, and then you grab the P switch, and then you bump the shell, and then you do like a little like mid-air booty bump with that, and then you use the P switch. But it's called a duppy in Super Mario Maker 2. It's really an easy trick in Super Mario Maker 2, but in ROM hack, it's way harder, and people like quit the hack at that because I put it in the last level of Buddy Shell 2. That's why I made a second one. The Redux version of Buddy Shell 2 is reworks of the levels, and then there's 4 levels that are taken out, and then that trick specifically is not in the hack. So I felt bad about the play testers that tested that hack, and then I got a lot of feedback that people hated that trick and quit the hack, and then certain play testers were like, nobody got to see that I play tested the hack because they quit the level, and play testers did not like that level anyways. So it was something I forced in there, and I liked it, but it'll return.
What would you say is probably your most hated like trick or gimmick? We'll even open it up to some chocolate stuff. Like if you're playing a hack and you come across this particular mechanic or something that you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to deal with this.
Um, let's see. It's funny because a lot of the stuff I don't like, I end up either putting it in hacks, that I make to kind of force myself to get better at them, or
Make
I
others
play
suffer.
hacks that have them. I used to, like, really hate chuck gates and stuff like that, but now it's like they're doable, but they're still a pain. Chuck gates are pretty much one of those things that's like, I really don't like. Water levels are kinda like one of those things that I kinda scoff at, to say the truth. I know a lot of people like water levels, but it feels like a different kind of thing. Cape is like that too. It's like Cape is
Agreed.
very non what I want to do. I know a lot of people like Cape, and there are fun Cape levels out there. I think Aaron just told me either today or yesterday. He told me that he had played Akagari, and at the end of it, there's a Cape level, and he really enjoyed it. And I was like, that's amazing, and it is a fun level, but it's Cape is tough at first. I think Cape is probably like not even as a trick, but like one of the things that I don't really enjoy playing just because it feels so much different is Cape. Cape is just hard in general. Like it's tough for me, and there's like a whole flow to it, which doesn't feel like the same flow as Kaizo does. Kaizo, even water can still feel like Kaizo, but Cape just feels like a different game. I mean, yeah, it's fun to do once you know
Yeah.
how to do it and you flutter and go back and forth and stuff. But once you start getting into really weird, there's some crazy hacks out there. Like even learn to fly and stuff. I've never even checked out those hacks because I'm like, I think I'd struggle. Like I focus on just having fun and stuff that seems too hard. If I come across it, I'll either power through it or, we'll see what happens.
Last thing I'm going to ask you, specifically Kaizo related. This is a divisive topic, I know, and you've already said that it's something that you can't do, so it's not necessarily even a viable option for you. But in the Kaizo community, there's like two or three different viewpoints on save stating. What is your opinion on people who use save states playing Kaizo?
I think it's totally fine. The way I approach Kaizo personally is I approach it because I like it. I play it because I like it and it's fun for me. It gives me a good feeling when I play it. And if it's fun for you, it doesn't matter. Like when I was a kid, I used to play a lot of first person shooters. Well, I would always end up inevitably looking up the cheats because back then there were cheat codes. So, it's like it's always fun to play the game on like not easy mode per se. In that sense, it's easy mode. Now, Kaizo save states, you could say it is an adjusted difficulty. I hate saying easy mode because it takes away from the difficulty of the game. Because people used to play Kaizo Mario with only save states, like the Kaizo Mario 1. If you look up the old videos, people only played it with save states. Every jump was a save state just because it was that hard. But I think as long as the game is fun for you, it doesn't matter how you play it. If people play my hacks and they use a save state, and they don't even use it as like a quote unquote practice save state. And that's a practice save state would be where, okay, I failed this jump. Well, I'm going to practice this one trick because I don't really know how to do this trick. Or maybe it's just deep in the level and it's a hard trick. So I struggle to get to it. So I'd really like to practice this trick over and over again. And then they're gonna go back and then get the checkpoint or beat the level, with I guess RTA real time, just all the way through. So it's like either way, it's if you do it like that, or if you save state at a jump that you got wrong, and then you're like, oh, I needed to fix my momentum, and then you just kind of save state your way to the end.
Right.
I think it's fine. I think if it's fun for you, that's what matters, and that's why I make the games is so people have fun. So that's why I don't really put many trolls. Some of my older hacks have a little bit of troll stuff, like D Shells has some trolly stuff in it, some ending trolls that are kind of nasty. But after that hack, I really shied away from making any trolls and stuff because I just didn't want to be mean to the player. I really wanted to figure out because Mario Maker 2 made me really think about level design a lot because I made a ton of levels. They're still up actually on Mario Maker 2. But I like really like the balance of like challenge and fun because if something is too hard, it just becomes unfun, and then the balance reward system is just it's off. Like with Dram 3 with me, the risk and reward was like, okay, I'm wasting a lot of time and I'm not even really having much fun anymore because I'm struggling so hard. And I also feel
Right.
like some of this level design is really unfair and I just don't really want to put the time in. I have better things to do that are going to make me have fun. So it's like I never want people to feel that way where they're just so frustrated like this is unfair. So it's a cool thing to think about in terms of level design like the difference between like what is too hard and what's too easy, but what's fun and still challenging. That's the balance is fun and challenge. And that's what
Yep.
I've always tried to like achieve. But I think with safe stating, it's whatever keeps it fun for you. Sorry, I get off track.
No, you're great. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Well, it's funny when you think about it because with like trolling in general, like with these games, like originally it was such a small, like close and tight knit community that like it was basically like friends kind of trolling each other. And that's how Kaizo Mario came about, I think, with T Takamoto. He was trolling his friend. Like he wanted to create asshole Mario, and that's what he called it basically. And like he made levels for his friend to play and he watched him play them. And it's like, for it to be played now on such a mass scale, I would consider a more massive scale than ever. And that's why I created so many easy hacks, like or quote unquote easy hacks. They're really not easy, but they are easier compared to some of the stuff you'll play. They're a little more open ended and readable, for players that aren't not they're not as well versed in reading levels and stuff, and what you're supposed to do or what certain sprites, how they interact and stuff. But it's funny because, like I said, with trolling, it's like people were like kind of like friends and they were just kind of trolling each other. Like I would put a troll on my level and then I couldn't wait for you to stream it because then I'm going to watch you get trolled by me and I'm going to laugh and your chat's going to laugh and it's like going to be this thing amongst friends almost in a weird
Hmm.
way. And it's like the Kaiser community is like that, but the Kaiser community is also it's different niches within its own little subsects, you know what I mean? So it's like back then it's like was more of probably a funny thing and now it's like it can become an annoyance. Now I do like a troll if it is well thought out, if it's like something where, like you said, you can avoid it or you can outthink it, or you're like, it's not just something silly that just sends you back to the beginning because that's just cheap. There's a troll that I put in D shells that I really am just it's like the only one I'm proud of that I put in. And at the end of one of the levels, I won't say which, but there's a one of the jumps is supposed to be like a double shell jump, but it looks like a double, but it's actually just a single shell jump. You throw the first one up, and you catch it because you have to have it to go through the goalpost. So you have the mushrooms. You don't fall through the one tile,
Gotcha.
gap
Yeah.
or whatever. But like that, I still love that troll. Like everybody I've seen play it pretty much, unless they just do an insanely good shell jump, they usually get trolled by it. And it's fun, and it's silly, and it's like they had to like it's misdirection in a kind of silly way where it's not like, oh, you hit a Kaizo block. Kaizo blocks can be fun, mid level or something, but yeah, ending level, like, come on now.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
don't.
I love a good anti troll. Those that
Oh yeah,
when you think you've died and you're like what the and, oh. um
yeah, I love those. They're very fun. Foo World's like that. He has a lot of like anti trolls where you actually like you gasp. You're like, no, and then you're like, oh wait, and you're like, dang, and it does feel good, to get the anti troll. It's really a good feeling that you give the player. That's what's cool about level design too. Is like you're giving somebody emotions. You're like you're making them have like you're evoking these emotions from them, and it's very interesting.
um and I also like I haven't run across very many of them, but watching Mr. Pixel stream as much as I have, he's come across several, and I'm like him. Some of my if you're gonna troll, either be an anti-troll, which that's obviously the nicest ones because it doesn't actually make you start over, or like he said, those that make you troll yourself. Like you see something and you react to it because you think it's going to do something, and your reaction is what actually causes you to die. It's like you would have been fine. Well, just like you said with that mole. If I would have just ran, I'd have been fine. But when I saw it and I jumped, I hit it and died. I trolled myself. I would have been fine had I just went through the goalpost. But when I do
It's a
that,
surprise though. Yeah.
it's on me, and so it kind of takes the heat off of the creator of look, you did that to yourself. If you'd have just went through the level, you'd have been fine.
Yeah, it's silly. It's funny because it's like, it's a way to be like, that's what I like about certain things like that. 'Cause I'm like, "Oh, it's actually, I guess, an obstacle, in the end, it's definitely an obstacle." It's trolly in nature, I guess, because it's such a surprise kind of thing, which it can be. I would almost consider that more unfair than even a troll, just because you really don't know it's there till it's there, So the you only thing you can do is react.
Right.
But it just depends, I guess, on the player too.
You are not only a hat creator, but you are a game creator now. You're working on your own game. Can you tell us a little bit about your new game you've got coming out?
Well, I think I'm gonna call it Super Slime, but I'm not 100%. It's gonna have like slime characters and hopefully like cute setting. It's gonna be very Kaizo inspired. Me and Bea in the chat there, Bea Studio, he's the dev that's coding and stuff for me, and I'm making the levels. I've been doing pixel art. I've actually started messing around with music lately, trying to figure out how to like make my own music to save some money because music is kind of expensive. I did not anticipate the music being so expensive because with ROM hacks you just take the music from the website. There's like a plethora of music that you can just use, and it doesn't matter if it's copyrighted or not. You can just use it. Most of it all is copyrighted, but it's not. It doesn't really matter with ROM hacks. But with the game that you're going to sell, you definitely have to have like original music or something of the sort. So but yeah, me and him are doing it up. It's technically our game together. I shouldn't even say my game. It's our game. It's our little baby. It's our project. He's a really good guy, and I got lucky meeting him. And yeah, me and him are teaming up, and he's coding. I'm making the levels. I'm like, hey, do this, do this, do this, and it's Kaizo inspired. There's gonna be some elements from Kaizo in terms of like sticky ceilings and stuff. Like I think that's a cool mechanic to have, and I'm putting it in my game. It's fun, so I'm doing it. Certain things like that are going to be in the game. It's going to be a lot of platforming, chain jumping, and it's funny because with in Kaizo terms, it's different whenever you're talking about it with a different game. But it's like basically jumping on multiple enemies in a row, and these are things that like mainstream audiences have probably never seen before, or never even thought about. And most people when they play Mario, they just like let go of jump. They don't even press the run button. So it's like with a game that's set up in a way where it's like, hey, you have to hold the run and the jump button. Like there is fast falling in the game, is really fast falling in the game. So like you fall super fast, so that you've let go of the jump button. So there's a distinct difference in the amount of precision that can be in the game. I've had to dial it a lot back though because I feel like with the I let my brother play test it. I let making my kids, not making them, kind of. No, I have them play test for me. I
Play
have my
this
wife
game.
play test. I had a bunch of people play test. Just my wife's friends, like kids, just kind of play test tutorial levels for me, early levels, and even Bea tested all the levels so far, and they're tough levels. The ones that I've made for the demo are tough levels. They're for mainstream audience. For someone like you, Vil, you'd be blowing through them. They'd still be hard though, because these ones they don't have checkpoints. As of right now, I'm not
Oh,
in putting a checkpoint. A lot of the levels are about a minute long. They're pretty tough. But just it's mainly because of the length. I think for normal Kaizo players, it'll be a breeze. The demo, at least. Now it will get a little bit tougher. The physics are definitely different in terms of like Mario, I guess. But and there is like some different things that I don't want to spoil too much. But there's some really cool gimmicks, I guess, that I'm gonna have in the game, and lots of level ideas. It kind of stinks because like making the levels is kind of easy for me. I always say like the level making is easy, but it's like all this other stuff is so hard. Like pixel art's crazy and music is insane, and coding I couldn't imagine. I tell Bea all the time he's like a magician. He's like a wizard, because I'm like, hey man, will you make a block that will vanish after like a couple seconds? And he's like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll code that. He gets it done in like a day, and I'm like, dang bro, you're the goat. So we're a good team, and he knows a lot about releasing games and stuff like that. So we're set. He actually paid for the Steam page today. I saw that he had put that on there, so we'll be able to have people wishlist it pretty soon. So that'll be pretty awesome. I'm really stoked about that. I've got to talk to another. It's actually another streamer, Satanist Kawaii. She's a VTuber also. She's really nice. She does artwork, and I'm gonna commission her to do the artwork for the Steam page, all the little graphics and stuff, all the little pictures that show up on the Steam page because she's a really good artist. So pretty
that
epic though. But yeah, it's gonna be Kaizo inspired heavily because those are the games I've made, but it won't be like there won't be like a cape or a water level and stuff. Like I said, it's gonna be a totally separate game, and I'm sure Kaizo players will recognize the type of gameplay, but I feel like other players will see it as something different and new, and hopefully fun. Hopefully it's like a fun experience. Right now, I'm really trying to dial back the difficulty to. I'll compare it to like Super Dank World was supposed to be my first beginner hack. That's a hard hack, a very hard hack, and, like, the last, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 levels are basically a shell hack with really crazy stuff. I don't know what I was thinking, but then I made Sweet World after that, so it's, like, all these different beginner hacks that I made after I got kind of better at understanding, like, "Oh, this is really hard for people," or, "Oh, people don't understand this. Oh, people don't really catch on to this level design," or whatever, so it's, like, all of these hacks have kind of led up to this moment where it's like I always would say that on stream, like, I want to make a game so bad. I want to make a game like this so bad, like Kaizo, but it's not. And then like tons of people can play it because that was my main goal is for more people to play this. Not really even the motivation for money to tell you the truth. It was mainly to just because that's why I made hacks was I wanted people to get I made, like, easier hacks. I wanted people to get into Kaizo. I wanted people to play it because it's so fun, it's so entertaining, and it's like there's no trolls, and it's just fun level design, like, just running and jumping and throwing things is, like, such a fun gaming experience, and a lot of people have played platformers or play platformers, so it's in my essence. Super Mario World was one of my first, like, games I ever played, so it's like it's a platformer. So it's like it's in my blood. So I want more
Right.
people to if I want people to play a Kaizo hack, though, I have to say, "Oh, hey, you gotta I can't legally tell you where to get Mario World. I can't tell you that. But I can say, hey, you can go to this website and you've gotta download a zip file, and then you've gotta patch it." It's like
Mhm.
and it's called a ROM hack. I promise I won't
Right.
hack you. Like, it's just the connotations and stuff are just not good. They don't sound good. That's why I started calling, Mario hacks mods, so that people that would watch my stream would understand it more in a lighter sense of it's a mod. It's not like a hack. You're not doing anything wrong.
That's
You're modding, which modding has a lighter connotation than hacking,
right.
you know? It sounds better. So with this, it's like similar style of gameplay. I'm definitely not trying to like fully copy or anything, but I do want to take from what I know and the level design that I know because I've been making hacks for like years now, which is kind of crazy to think about. Even seeing that big list, I'm just like, Lordy, that's crazy, But I want more people to be able to have that type of level design and just enjoy it, and hopefully more people will make games like it. Or if it does well, it can become a game where people can make their own levels or something because that'd be really cool. But I just don't have the money to run a server and stuff like that. That's insanity. But it would be very fun to have that capability where people could really have fun with the game, and it would be like that open thing where people could make levels, and I would be able to see what people could do, and it would be really cool. But people it's the accessibility though, of just being able to go to Steam and just download a demo. You don't even have to buy the game. You can just download the demo when it's out, and then you can just test it. "Oh, this is my kind of game. I think I'd like more of this," or, "Oh, no, this makes me angry. I hate this. I don't wanna play it." Like, my older son was just play testing for me, over the weekend, and he was like, and I quote, "I hate this game." And it was funny as hell because then today he was like, "I don't hate the game, dad." And I was like, "I know, bro." I was like, "I say the same thing when I'm playing playing games." I'm like, "I hate this level," but, you don't hate it. You're just in the moment in the
Exactly.
moment of the gameplay. The frustration comes out, and it's okay. It's healthy to let it out. It's funny. But yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I've been working my butt off on it, just trying to save money and learn about how to make it fun and how to make it good, and hopefully it'll be fun. Hopefully a lot of people will have fun with it. I'm excited to watch people stream it too, because instead of the Mario community where it's just like this niche community of SMW Central, basically, maybe a couple offshoot ROM hacking sites that are around, but for the most part, like my hacks only go on SMW Central. If somebody else puts them somewhere else, I don't know, which I'm fine with that. It doesn't matter. But for this, it's like it'll be available to the entire world, like, or anybody that has Steam, basically.
Mhm.
And then if I need to get a license for Xbox or PlayStation, something like that, I think those are things that I can look into, which I might. Me and Bay have talked about stuff, but so that'd be cool too. People on Xbox could like play it. Like, that's crazy to think about. So
That
I'm
is
just trying to
awesome.
get it like up to the standard that I think it'll be presentable for people, and hopefully it'll be fun. The music I've been stressing about a lot, but I've got a guy helping me with music, and then I've been, just like I said, tinkering with music myself to try to make some cool stuff, hopefully some fun stuff. But yeah, I'm very stoked about it, and I appreciate you like sharing it in your Discord and stuff, man. You're like super nice, like you guys, all of you guys, your support's like super nice. It's just I appreciate it. I hope you guys have fun with the game when it does come out. I hope it's not like frustrating. I hope it because there will be, I think, a mode where you can have like I'm thinking of an assist mode where you'll have like multiple checkpoints per level, where that way, if you don't want to play it without checkpoints, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can, it might be a challenge mode. Maybe you get a secret slime if you complete it without the checkpoints, you never know, the mystery.
Secret slime have the Mario cap on it as a nod to the Kaizo community.
That'd be funny.
But we're going to actually show on stream your video uh, that you made previewing the first couple levels. I'm not going to play the whole video, but we will see the first couple levels of your um, of this game so that people have a picture to go with the words.
Yo, peeps. FNB here. I was going to give you guys a little preview of my game. I did a bunch of graphics this weekend and worked on a bunch of stuff. So I wanted to show you guys just a little preview. I did some sounds. I made the death blocks. I made these characters.
Yeah, I can definitely see the Kaizo inspiration.
All the levels that you'll see will have the same.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've gotta learn how to insert different backgrounds.
The sound effects I even made, it's kind of funny. The little squishing noises, I made those on like this browser. I gotta change a lot of stuff though. It's funny because the levels look, these lines were the first actual like landscape or whatever, foreground, I guess you could say, that I drew myself. And it's cool. It's cool. It's like interesting. That's normally what the game looks like with these like just these purple blocks basically. But I was so excited about these sprites, so stoked that I had like drawn all these myself, and like I had animated them in a program called A Sprite. Yeah, I should make an update video because everything looks different now. It's so funny. I've changed so much stuff, even the blocks, like the shading and stuff, and learning about this stuff. And
Yeah,
the simplest level, he
that's
says. That's
crazy to me.
funny.
Like I said, I can't even make a Kaizo hack, and you're making your own sprites and game. That's like a whole extra level that I can't fathom. That's why I think it's so cool that you're creating essentially a Kaizo game that's not Super Mario. I mean, this is, like I said, very Kaizo inspired. You know, like you said, people that play Kaizo are gonna, it'll still be a little different because I'm sure the movement engine is a little different, but still, you know, people that know Kaizo will know the game and be able to play it, and people that have never heard of Super Mario Kaizo will see this, and hopefully they'll play it, and who's to say, you know, that they won't dig into it further, look you up and find your Kaizo videos, and it may lead them to the Kaizo community. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. I'm excited about it, man. I can't believe I'm doing it, honestly. I still can't believe, like, whoa, I'm actually doing this. And it's fun being able to realize, like, all the things I'm able to do, like changing the sprites or the colors or whatever. Like, I was drawing silly pictures of like these suns with these like cursed like smiles, and I was like, I could put it in the game, but it would be bad and cursed. But it was just funny because, like, with my Kaizo hacks, I don't really explore the graphics that much aside from palette colors. I'll change the palettes around. Maybe I'll tinker with the backgrounds a little bit. For the most part, it's like I basically keep it pretty vanilla, because it's just extra steps that, because as you know from trying to do ROM hacks, it's a very tough thing to even get into, and it's really hard once you even. Because I'm actually about to start making another hack, collaborating with another creator, one of the main creators from Shalab, Kraka. Me and him are gonna do a shell hack together. Because once we got that hack done, I was like, "Yo, bro, we should collab on something." And he was like, "Oh, really? Well, I've got a whole bunch of cool stuff I've been building." And I'm like, "Okay." So me and him are collaborating on a hack together, which I haven't started building in that yet. But soon I'll be building in that too, which will be a lot of fun. I'm excited to build, and that's a little sneak. No, not many people know about that, but yeah, it'll be a shell hack, and it'll have some very interesting shells in it. That's all I can really say. But you might see it on my stream when I'm building. So I'll definitely be doing a lot of building streams. But yeah, man, I'm super stoked about all of it. I'm just keeping too busy though. Lordy, it seems like I work on it like every day now, which is fine. But I have this habit of like overworking myself. So we'll see. We'll see how far I can work myself.
I got you,
I'm just trying to get everything done. A demo should come out pretty soon for the game if I can get the artwork done and the music inserted and just some stuff spruced up. If I can get some things spruced up, then I think that we'll have the demo out pretty soon, and that'll be a lot of fun. I think I'll get a lot of feedback, and it'll kind of be like an open play test, just to get people's feedback and even like players. Because like for you, the experience for you and the experience for a person that likes platformers but has never played a Kaizo Mario, ROM hack before, like it'll be a totally different experience for you or them. So I'm trying to balance that out where, the niche community that like these types of games will enjoy it. And then the people that are new to it that like, say, Super Meat Boy or Celeste, that like those types of games, they'll hopefully be like, oh, this is something that's approachable, and hopefully it'll be fun for them. I'm excited to see like random people make YouTube videos, maybe, or even people that are mad about it. People are like, "This is the hardest game," because people are gonna get mad about it. I'm already
Oh yeah.
prepared for people to like get upset
Well,
and
that's a
not like
good
it just because of difficulty.
over the course of streaming, like I do, you got good days, you got bad days, you got things that happen that you'll never forget, whether it's good or bad. But there's also a lot of times stories behind stuff that if you weren't there when it happened, or if you're not in the streams for a long time, you may not ever really get some of the references or understand things. Like there's some people that they have certain emotes that if you just pull up their list of emotes and you look through them, some of them you're like, what in the world is this, and why is this a thing? But then you find out later that there was something in particular that happened in a stream that somebody took it and ran with it and made it into an emote that the community loves that emote because of the backstory. But if you don't know the backstory, it just seems like the most random thing ever. Do you have any kind of emotes in your channel that you feel like are a little more enriched by knowing the backstory behind them?
Probably
Or
the I hate to say it, but probably the tried and true butthead, like the Twitch icon. That one is like the one that everybody is like, because it's so suggestive of like a different item other than a butt, a different body part than a butt. So most people are like asking about it, but they don't know it. They don't know the lore of it, that it's actually just a butt head. And I have to tell people over and over again, it's just a butt head. But I guess that one I would think.
okay,
I
yeah,
can put it in your chat maybe. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. I think I still have it as a, yeah, there it is. The classic.
yeah,
The
there it
classic
is. The
silly
classic F&B butt chin.
butthead. Yeah, it's a butthead.
um, is there anything like in your time of streaming that may have happened, or something came about from streaming that just, when you think back to your time of streaming, like just stands out as one of the most memorable moments or memorable streams?
Oh lordy. I don't know about that. That one's my if I had to think of a most memorable stream, which I've never even thought of that before, but if I thinking that just now, the first thing that pops up into my mind would be my first Lunar Magic stream that I did. I did, yeah, my first Lunar Magic stream I did on Twitch, and I didn't know anything about Lunar Magic, and I'd been playing hacks for a few months at that point, and I was like, I gotta make a ROM hack. Like, I've got to. Like, I think maybe it was 6 months I'd been playing hacks at that point, maybe. And then I was like, I've gotta make one of these. Like I like the music, I like the customization. Yeah, it was Lunar Magic because SJ and Charlie the Cat came in. He's the guy that made the Flux bass ROM back then. He doesn't really mess with it anymore, but a lot of people still use the bass ROM, and it's a great bass ROM. It's just a little dated, but it works. I still use it. But yeah, that was probably my most memorable stream for me personally, just because that's where I learned a lot about Lunar Magic, and then that's what like started all of this for like just like creating ROM hacks and like just the whole thing. Like, just because I became addicted, like, immediately. That's why I have so many hacks, is because I just was just building and building and building. Oh my gosh, what can I do? And then I started talking to more people, and there's so many talented people in the Kaizo community, the ROM hacking community in general. Not even Kaizo, but the Mario ROM hacking community. There's a ton of really, really talented. I would almost say more talented in certain ways on the standard hack side, because there's so many
Mm-hmm.
graphical things, and a lot of the gimmicks that are used in Kaizo come from standard hacks. A lot of people don't realize that, because people don't really stream, a lot of the standard hacks like they do the Kaizo hacks, so
Yeah,
it's kind
and
of interesting to think about. There was a like a little like 11-year-old girl that I got to play test my game that was like my wife's friend's daughter. I was like, "Hey, would you care to let her play test a little bit?" And they came over and I would just let her play like the tutorial level, then after like 20 minutes, she said, "My thumb hurts now. I'm gonna stop," but she had fun and I said, "What do you like about the game? What's kind of fun for you?" And she said, "I like it that when you die, you just go right back to the start." She said, "It's not like a punishment. You're not like."
right.
In regular Mario games, it's like this big sound will happen, this big animation will occur, and you go back to the overworld, you see that you lost a life, you're like, "Ah." So it's like that's why a lot of, like, players aren't used to or at least old school players like us aren't used to that type of gameplay at first because 'cause they're not used to dying over and over again? When you die,
Right.
it's like, and the immersion's broken, "Oh my god," I died, But it's like with Kaizo and stuff, you just go back, 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 just keep playing? So it's interesting gameplay, interesting mechanics.
It's honestly it's kind of like the same mindset behind. Uh, I mean, I know this is probably a pretty big jump, but like the Souls games, you go into it. Nobody should. I'm sure there's probably people that do because I still catch myself doing it at times, but nobody should go into a Kaizo of any difficulty and think you're not supposed to die. That you're going to die repeatedly over and over and over and over, and depending on the difficulty of the hack and what your particular skill set is, just like you said, like with Dram 3, I mean, you're averaging 15 hours a level.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
they're very difficult levels, but I mean, it's not very many games are out there that are, which I mean is why it's its own niche little thing, but not many games out there you go into with that mindset of knowing I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die.
Yeah, it's gonna be a grind, yeah.
But that's
There's
why
a
it's
certain level
important,
of
like you
grinding.
said, to have the quality of life, like instant retry and no life counter and things like, if you imagine trying to play a Kaizo, like even not even a really difficult one like Dram, but just an intermediate level difficulty hack that you have, like, say they start you with the max, you got 99 lives. To clear the hack, or you have to start over.
Man,
I mean, just that would be that's not your typical Kaizo.
it'd be an
It's
interesting gimmick for sure? I could see trying to make a beginner hack and then having, like, a 99 life count. Maybe that would be fun, but
it
make it
might
really
be.
easy.
Yeah.
Could be fun. I don't know, it'd be a gimmick, though. Like you said, I get your point, though. It's definitely a gimmick. It might not be fun.
Yeah. And some stuff like that, you never know until you create it and try it. And you may think, you know what, this isn't going to be well received. And people play it and they're like, everybody loves it. And then I've heard, a couple of creators that have created stuff that they put out and they thought, well, perfect example, what you were talking about earlier, your jump shell trick thing, you love it. And you thought, that it's not going to be that bad, but most people that play it despise it. They don't like it, and you're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be the next greatest thing, and you're like, well, I guess not. So I mean, it's got, you never know till you put it out there and just see what sticks.
If you make it easy enough. I think there was a hack that came out that you had a life system, but I don't and it was Kaizo, but I don't know, it's been a minute now, but there was something that came out that was similar to that, but I don't know how fun it was. I don't remember. I didn't I wasn't interested in playing it, so I must not have liked it very much. I don't know. Or
There
maybe I just didn't want to take the time to mess with it. I don't know.
and some people create stuff just to be sadistic that they know people aren't going to like. Like I'm not going to call a name, but there's a particular creator out there that I know that took some of my most hated things and turned it into a disco grinder blade. Flies, by the way. Like I said, I'm not going to call names, but some people will create stuff just because they know that people are going to cringe when they see it.
The nerve of some creators.
I know it's
Crazy,
they'll take stuff and run with
crazy.
it.
It's funny. I have a bunch of levels actually that I'd never even released that are like levels like that was just like random stuff or random ideas, and they're like whole levels, and I haven't even done anything with them.
That would actually be pretty funny. Not telling you what to do by no means, but just to like create an FNB random hack. Like the levels have nothing to do with just all of your random ideas of these levels that you've threw together and never used. Just throw all of them into a hack and
Oh,
just see
it'd be so
see what comes
unbalanced.
out.
People would hate it. It'd be like Gas Pack. Gas Pack was very unbalanced in terms of like, so it was 117 rooms, and every room was basically a different difficulty. Like you'd have like a really basic room, and then you'd have like a juggle type room that would be like no indication on what to even do. You'd have like a key and a shell, and you're falling midair, and then you see like one enemy, and you're like, what do I do? Like some of it was very unfair in terms of that. So you got to be careful about the unfairness. It's so funny. But yeah, I think that disco saw is actually really manageable. It's funny because it is so like it's kind of cursed, but it's like kind of manageable. You can make things manageable, I think, for the player. It just depends on how you set it up. It's all on the intention of the creator.
Like I said, I did also, I want these videos to also be very beneficial to anybody that might be thinking of going into streaming, or maybe that just started and are kind of new and getting quote unquote advice from the pros or people that's done it for a while. So if and I kind of know what you would say, because this is almost what I asked you, about a year and a half ago. Wow, has it been that long? About that long ago, before I started streaming, is what advice would you give to someone that is wanting to start streaming? Like, what would you kind of help them, point them in this direction, warn them of certain pitfalls to stay away from that maybe you fell into, things that you figured out after doing it a little while that this works pretty well, uh, might be a good place to start, things like that.
Well, with the things I know now, I would always say to people that you should always, if you want to start streaming, if your intention is like to like make money at it, I would not start streaming.
Agreed.
And then if your intention is to have fun, I would say start streaming because I would keep it as a hobby is what I would say to most people is do it, keep it as a hobby, and if it goes somewhere that's like a bonus to the fun you're already having. I mean, that's the way I look at it is I just have fun with it. There's times where I've contemplated quitting my job, but I'm just like there's no way. I could never make that jump because it's like I make money like and doing a job every day, and I know I'm gonna make money for it. Where streaming is you just don't know if you're gonna make money doing it. So it's like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it, I would say make a hobby of it, do it in your spare time, have fun with it. Don't worry about the numbers or anything like that. Just have fun with the people there and don't even put a lot of money into it. I would put the least amount of money into it. That's what I did in the beginning. I put like no money into my I don't even think I bought a new computer until like I don't know 3.5 4 years into it. Then I finally got a new computer. Yeah, you guys did get my AC fixed. You guys helped me get my AC fixed. It was amazing. Yeah, it was. I totally. I didn't do the duct work because it was too expensive, but I did replace my entire AC unit with like basically my YouTube chat at the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was kind of insane. They really were like, and it wasn't really my intention. It was just me streaming and talking randomly about I'm like, guys, it's freaking hot in my house. Like, we haven't had air conditioner for like, a couple days now. I got to get it fixed. And holy crap, it's going to be a lot of money. It was like 4 grand. It was crazy. It was an
Ooh.
insane amount of money for an AC. And, family of four, you like, you kind of got to have the air conditioner. Me by myself, I might not, worry about the AC as quickly, but you know how it is. But yeah, I mean, it's cool for people that are going to start doing it. I say keep it as a hobby and just have fun. And if you have an intention of like meeting people, that's a good thing. I think with Twitch and YouTube though, it's like stream on both platforms, stream on TikTok, stream on Instagram, stream, on Kick, stream anywhere you can. And cuz like with Twitch it's like it's a numbers thing, it's all about numbers and you're not going to really be seen unless you have bigger numbers and unless you're just in a niche category. Like Mario World's like a really niche so you can have like lower numbers, but people still know who you are. I don't have big numbers on Twitch. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things that it's big enough, and I'm proud of it. But it's one of those things that you really can't worry about it in the grand scheme of things. If you enjoy talking to the people that come to your stream, if you enjoy people, like for me, I like talking about level design. I like just honestly, streaming for me is kind of like therapy. Like I really just enjoy just like talking about whatever randomness is going on or whatever random thought I have going through my head. So like I think it's a good outlet
in terms of that, just to have fun, you know? I mean, it's a really, really fun thing that you're able to do, and we're like the first humans that are like able to actually do it, you know, like our generation, if you think about it. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of crazy to think about. Like, so why not do it? You know, why not try it? You know, I tell my kids it all the time. You guys should make videos, you know, upload them, you know, just for fun. If you want to make something, do it, you know?
Exactly. You never know till you try.
But definitely I think you should have the mindset of like, I mean, if you wanted to like, yeah, quote unquote, make it, it's like there's a formula for it, but Twitch isn't the one, you know. It's like you really have to grow an audience on a different platform, then you migrate them towards like somewhere like Twitch or something. Or that would be my what am I trying to say? What I would my best advice for people is, you know, start like I started on YouTube and then I migrated towards Twitch and then I integrated both of them to where both of my communities kind of merged, and then a lot of the people from YouTube went to Twitch, you know, and then they found other streamers, and you know, and then they integrated into those communities, which even like this is a very interesting, you know, like Adam and Jenny, a lot of them like came directly from YouTube, I think originally, which is cool to see, you know, and another over here. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a good thing, and I recommend everybody do it if they want to. But I wouldn't take it too seriously. I wouldn't invest too much money into it, and yeah, I would always just have the intention of having fun. Now, some people, you know, they want to like be entertaining, I guess, and that's their intention, I guess, and that's cool too. You know, I don't really, to be honest, I don't think about being entertaining. I just want to have fun, and if I'm having fun, it's like worth it to me because it's free for the people that are watching it. So it's like
Exactly.
I don't expect anybody. For me personally, I never expect anybody to give me any money. I never ask for money. Even whenever I was like getting money for my air conditioner, it was like I wasn't ever asking money. It was like I was like complaining about it, like, oh my god, it's so hot, you know. And then people, I
Just
didn't
talking.
realize it at the time, but in the afterthought, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I inadvertently did this by complaining about this big thing," and people, you know, people were generous about it, you know,
Right.
but it was just kind of a whole different thing. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun to do. I recommend people do it if they want to. Just don't have big expectations for it in the beginning because it's like it's such a new thing. You know, nobody knows who you are, and you know, if you want it to grow, it's definitely a grind. I mean, I used to upload like 5 shorts a day on YouTube, like 5 a day, every day. Like, for, like, a year straight, I did that. It was
Wow.
insanity. That's what I did this morning when I got up at 5. I was like, "Oh, I need to do my shorts." So I did 5 shorts all for the week from Monday through, actually, I did them all the way till Monday of next week. So I've got all of this week and then up to Monday of next week done. That's what I usually do. Every Saturday or Sunday, I get up, I edit all my shorts for the week. With Mario content, you know, like we play, it's like basically just level clears, you know, just clipping
Mm-hmm.
level clears, you know? And if it's a short video, it's not too bad. I can usually knock it out in like an hour or two, you know, 7 or 8 videos, you know. That's just one video a day though, but
Gotcha.
YouTube's weird though. Like with Twitch, you can stream as much as you want. You could stream. I could stop a stream right now, start it up an hour later, stream for an hour, and then vice versa for 24 hours straight. You know, they wouldn't care. Now YouTube, it's like you can only put out certain number of videos a day, you know, or it can
Hmm.
hurt your channel.
I
5
didn't
a
know
day
that.
is like the limit, or they'll think that you're spamming pretty much. So it's like one of those things that's why some of my VODs will be like privated because I can stream like vertically and horizontally, but then the vertical one, I'm going to private that video so that it doesn't count as a quote unquote video upload on YouTube because it's not public. You know what I mean? So then if I wanted to stream again later in the day, it doesn't like bog my channel down and stuff. There's a lot of ins and outs and silly stuff like that that I've learned over the years because I was doing really well on YouTube for a while, and I think I just uploaded too much content there for a while, and I didn't know it, you know. But it's like I was streaming so much, and then also uploading long form and short form content on top of that. So it's like when you upload too much, it can really hurt your channel. So yeah, if you're doing YouTube videos, definitely just do like a scheduled thing where you edit 1 or 2 days out of the week and then you schedule 3 or 4 5 videos through the whole week or even once a month or once a week or whatever. But I do think YouTube sees that, like the algorithm sees, oh, you know, FNB's got a video for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and he's done that, or Saturday and Sunday, he's done that for 3 years now. And then it's like, oh, there's all this back data that they can pull from, and it's crazy. It's so deep. That's like a whole nother talking about YouTube is analytics is like, oh, we'll do another interview where me and you can talk about YouTube analytics if you want, because that's a whole nother stream.
Gotcha. Have you managed to recover after the whole uh, copyright strike thing that happened on YouTube? Have you managed to kind of recover from that yet, or is it still kind of hurting you?
I don't know. Honestly, YouTube's a weird thing. I do think all in all it did hurt my channel in like the negative way. Um it's all been resolved and I didn't, I didn't get in trouble or anything. I didn't get a strike or anything. I got all that stuff removed off my channel, but yeah, in the end I do think it probably affected things to a certain degree cuz it kind of like flags your channel and even though it gets reversed, I feel like it's just I don't know. YouTube's weird. They're pushing AI a lot now, and they're being kind of weird because like that whole thing was kind of YouTube's fault because that creator, from what I can gather, and I never talked to this creator, but from what I can gather, YouTube sent him a copyright claim saying, "Hey, First Name Butts got a portion of your video in his video," and then he was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta get this guy," which he had the option to not strike me. He could have gave me like a 7-day warning to remove the video, which I would have done immediately, or just edited it out. I mean, YouTube's awesome. It has an editor built into it. You can go in and just Twitch has one too, but it's a little different. You can go in and just clip out that section. Heck, YouTube will do it for you. You just click the button. Yeah, I allow you to clip out this copyrighted material. It's gone. Super easy. But that guy struck me, which I thought that's where I was really pissed about it. Is that guy like was like kind of malicious? Where I'm like, bro, you didn't have to strike me. Like what?
And for those
So I
that
do think that strike hurt me in the long run. I think it hurt my channel and I mean, my views for, like, live streaming went from, like, I don't know, 100 to 200 people on average on the vertical live stream to, like, less than 10 every day, and I was like, "Holy," like, "Oh my gosh," and it really bothered me there for a while, and I mean, I'll say that I've learned a little bit from that experience, and that's that, the people that are there that kinda show up on the regular or even semi-regular, those are the people that really matter if you're trying to, like, grow your community and talk to people and stuff. Because I enjoy talking to my viewers, like, I love talking to them. That's what's kinda tough about playing Mario Kaizo is that you get, like, so into it that you just like want to beat the levels and you just want to keep like grinding, but then like your chat's moving and you want to talk to your chat and then the chat's like, why aren't you playing? And then it's a push and pull, you know. You know how it is.
Oh yeah. Well, to a certain extent, my chat has never been popping off like yours. It's you got like I've been in your streams before, and Twitch is popping off left and right. YouTube is, firing off, and I'm like, how in the world he can manage to play at all and keep up even halfway with chat is blowing my mind.
You're
Uh,
funny, bro.
but yeah, and which to be fair, for those that aren't aware of the situation, just so for the clarity, the copyright strike was not on anything that he actually did copy from anybody anyway. That the
Oh yeah, yeah,
like he
yeah.
said in one of his videos he made about it, that we play Mario Kaizo. If we play, you know, all of the Kaizo levels within a few frames are all going to look pretty much the same way because you have to do them all the same way. So
Yeah.
it's but that was the whole thing. This guy apparently YouTube grabbed it and thought, oh well, this looks just like your video. He copyrighted it. And it was the exact same level, but it was 100% FMB's content. But since YouTube gave him the option to just click a button and say, yes, that looks like mine, it got this whole thing started. So I said I wasn't wanting to rehash,
Oh no, you're fine,
bring
dude.
up bad emotions, but I was curious because I was, kind of keeping up with what was going on, and I knew it had hurt your numbers, and I was just wondering if it had kind of got back to where it was, or if you could still tell that ever since then it was still kind of affecting you, or whatever. But
Yeah, I think in the long run it did affect my channel, but at this point, it's like I guess with the way YouTube works, it seems like things kind of restart. Like if you don't upload for a while and you start uploading again, the first video might not do well, but once they see that consistency, it's like, oh, and then with YouTube too, it's so weird because like with Twitch, it's a numbers game. Like you'll be seen if you're in a category that people are looking at and you have high numbers, so you're at the top of the category, unless they're looking, filtered by low viewer numbers. With YouTube though, it's totally randomized. Like if they want to show your video to like 1,000 people in a second, it will do that. Which I don't know if it's a person or if it's the algorithm or whatever who chooses that, but it's designed that way to just if it doesn't show you, it doesn't. So it's like when I got that strike, it's like you knew. I knew for a fact, like, oh,
The axe
something's
dropped.
wrong. Yeah, something's wrong. Which, like I said, compared to when I had the strike, yeah, the channel's recovered. Where it's like, yeah, I'll average maybe 60, maybe 100 viewers. But
That's
the thing
good.
about the vertical streaming, this is the big difference. But this is a good point with streaming, and with vertical streaming, you'll average most people. I think I don't know about everybody, but for me at least, you average anywhere between 25 seconds to 40, maybe 55 seconds of viewership from each of those viewers. So compared to a Twitch stream where you'll sit there and you'll be have it on the background while you're doing something, or you'll actively be in the chat watching what's going on, because that's the culture around it. With like this, the vertical streaming, it's very short term based. Like you don't you might get a lot of traffic, but it's like
It's streaming for people with ADHD.
yeah, it's a lot of randomized people that come in and they're just scrolling, they're just scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. So it's weird to see the differences, because with YouTube you can do vertical and horizontal. With horizontal, it's like they don't show your live stream really at all to anybody. But even me, like I'll get maybe a maximum of 20 viewers, which is a lot. I consider 20 viewers a lot. I mean, it's small, but it's a lot to me. If I get 20 viewers, I'm stoked about it. You know what I mean? It's super awesome. But with like a vertical stream though, you can average like hundreds of viewers, and it's like, but with a horizontal stream, you'll have longer view duration. So you'll have people that watch you for 10 plus minutes. That's where the money's really at, is like if you run ads on streams like that, and you have 100 plus viewers. But with the vertical stream, there's no ads at all. A lot of people like those streams just because there's no ads.
Hmm.
They just there's no interruptions, which it's tough. It's a personal call to make. I think there's nothing wrong with making a little money off your ads as long as you're not spamming, 3 minutes of ads every,
Yeah,
6 minutes.
exactly.
Some
Yeah.
people do that, man. I've been in streams like that. Oh my god, I won't call any names out, but nobody in the Kaizo community, but just other random streamers that I've watched. I'm just like, I'm gonna time this. Is this really 6 minutes in between? What? 6 minutes an ad? Every 6 minutes I'm getting an ad? That's
I
insane.
fixed
How is
it.
that even
Okay. I'm
possible?
sorry.
Dude, there's people out there, man. It's wild. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. I think it's fine though. Streaming is funny, man. It's a weird thing, and I don't know. If you're having fun doing it, I think that's the only point in it.
What advice would you give people that are new to streaming? Because, like you said, unless you already are pretty well established or have a big friend, base, uh, how do you deal with the low view counts? How do you keep from letting that discourage you and make you stop streaming?
Um, I think for me personally, it comes down to like, why do I stream? Do I stream for other people or do I stream for myself? And for me, it's kind of selfish. Like I do stream for myself. I want to have fun and I want to occupy my time and do something that I find rewarding. That's why I stream before work, because I know I can usually make that time. That's like the one time I can stream before work. And even though it's crazy to do it at 2:30 in the morning, you know, like an
Right.
hour before work. Like it's insane. But at the same time, it's like I enjoy it. So, and I even knew that when I first started streaming at 2:30 in the morning, I thought there's gonna be no viewership at all, because all the people are used to me streaming in the afternoon, because that was probably 2.5 years ago now that I started streaming in the morning like that before work. 'Cause I just really wanted to stream more. And and it's like, even for that, I didn't realize it, but, around my time in Germany, it's like 10 a.m. whenever I'm streaming in the morning, and, in Europe and stuff. So then I started seeing people from Europe, and then I started getting more introduced to the German Kaizo community. So it was kind of neat in that sense that things like that can work out. And also, when the viewership, I try to not even look at the numbers when I'm streaming, to tell you the truth. Now, don't get me
Same.
wrong, back when I had like hundreds of viewers on vertical live streaming on YouTube, yeah, I would be like looking, oh my God, what the heck, 400 viewers. Oh, that's crazy. I wouldn't say it in the stream, but I'd be like looking over, like, oh my gosh. But nowadays, I don't even look at the numbers. I know pretty much how many people are watching me on YouTube based on how fast the chat is moving. If I can't keep up with the chat, there's like at least 100 to like 300 people in there. But if I'm able to keep up with the chat, it's usually under 100 people. And then like Twitch is like the same way, but Twitch is different because you can have like a low viewer stream, 10 to 20 viewers, but then it's very active chat, super
Hmm.
so active that you can't even keep up. That's how you see the difference between view botting and not on Twitch is you'll see the chat. And if you see the chat not moving on a high viewer stream, then they're probably view botting. I mean, it's just, and it sucks that it's like that on Twitch nowadays. Like there's a lot of streamers that do it. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Vil. Are you?
No, not really. All I know is I get ads for Stream Boo occasionally.
Yeah, basically it's services like that where like you just pay a company and they embed your views on like a website or something, and you can pay for anywhere from 10 to 20,000 viewers. It's
Jeez.
and Twitch, there's a lot of viewers. There's a lot of people that do it. There's like whole graphs now that come out where people can really kind of spot it, but there's like nothing Twitch does about it. I mean, Twitch did something about it back in like August, and they lost 20% of their viewership across the whole platform.
Wow.
And then they kind of dialed it back really quick. And there were also a lot of streamers that conveniently went on like vacation around that time, that week that Twitch did their crackdown. So yeah, it's a big thing on Twitch. That's why I say don't ever worry about the numbers when you see people that have high numbers, because I mean, it could be like the dead internet theory. Those viewers might not even be real, you know. And if you go into a stream and there's not a lot of chat going on, there's a lot of viewers, doesn't necessarily mean they're view botting. There's a lot of people. I mean, I do it a lot. I'll lurk in chats and or lurk in streams while I'm working or whatever, just listen in the background. But it's just like that. There's a lot of that out there nowadays. So I wouldn't even worry about the numbers. I don't even like, there's actually a little bar on Twitch where you can click it and it just makes the number turn into a bar. And then even
Yep.
if you look up at it, all you see is the bar. And I usually keep that on the bar. And then once in a while I'll kind of just look over there. Maybe if I've been streaming for a few hours, and I'm just curious, oh, I wonder how many people are watching me right now. And I'm surprised sometimes at how many people are watching, and I'm like, dang, what the heck? I had 30 people watching me today, because like I said, I'm still a small, really small streamer. I don't consider myself big in the slightest, and I appreciate it. But I think with me going through that copyright, it really made me appreciate the people that do show up on the regular. Because I think when you stream a lot, like every day, like I do, or multiple times a day, it's like you kind of forget sometimes who you see a lot, because you just get used to seeing them. And it's not that you don't appreciate them, but you just kind of get tailored
Snowblind.
to like trying to be attentive to this new audience, always like, oh hey, how's it going? Oh hey, how are you? And
Hmm.
if you have that new audience there, and like I said, with low viewership, it's different. You have to cater to that audience, but you also have to not let them bully you and push you around. And you always have to remember, like, it's your stream, you want to have fun. And if somebody's making you feel uncomfortable or you don't like something, it's like you just
See ya.
ban them. you know, you can get rid of them in a heartbeat. So it's one of those things, like, you always have to remember what power you have, and it's your time, it's your money technically, if you think about it, because time is money, and you're giving up your time to have fun. And you might make some money, but that's a forethought for me. I'm like, yeah, might happen. I don't know.
Last question that I had pre-prepared. So after you have streamed as long as you have, um, is streaming today, like your everyday experience and things of that nature, uh, is it kind of what you expected it to be when you started streaming, or once you got into it and it's evolved, is your streams today different than like when you thought I want to go live and you kind of had in your mind what all it was going to be? Is it today now kind of what you thought it would be when you started?
Oh lordy. Well, I didn't really know what to expect when I started, because streaming was so new to me. Because I was just busy raising my kids, up until basically I had started streaming. And I've still been raising them, but they were not super young, but they were entering early teen years at that point. So I felt like, oh, this is something I could mess around with. And then even talking about Twitch, like I that's why I originally went over to Twitch. I think was because I just thought about it while you were talking about it, about your channel points and stuff, and I thought, "Oh yeah, that's why I originally went to Twitch, is because there was such a bigger emphasis on the interaction between the chat and the streamer, by channel points and sound effects and all these things. YouTube didn't have those things, or I didn't know how to do them, at
Mm-hmm.
least. So it's like that was kind of the allure of that, which is kind of funny. But I don't think I knew what to expect. I didn't expect to like do what I'm like. I guess for where I'm at with it, like I don't ever try to be like vain or anything like that, or boastful, but it is kind of crazy to hear about like all the people that have like played my games that I've made, and seeing people play them and people stream them. And like my brother was going into TikTok, and he was like asking people if they'd ever played any of my hacks, and like he was very surprised to see that a majority of the people knew like of my games, and he was like, "Bro, this is crazy. They know who you are." And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah, man, they played the games." And I was like, "I told you, TikTok plays them too." So it was really funny, for him to see that, and he was like, "This is crazy," and it's silly, man. But no, I never thought it would be like it is now. I mean, I always envisioned it me just like chilling and hanging out, which is basically what it is. I'm just chilling and hanging out and just talking. And then just having fun. I'm doing something that I think is fun. The streaming is fun, but the playing is, I'm a gamer. I want to play games.
Yep.
But the interaction is cool. It's very interesting that we live in like this day and age where like we have this. Um, I mean, like we're in different places right now. We're in different states. We could be in different countries, and it would still be the same. Like it's
Mhm.
this connectivity is. I mean, people could be watching right now in different country. When people see this video, it's like it's very interesting the connectivity that we live in, and I didn't expect it to be like it is, where I'm like, whoa, like I know like different people from like all over the world now, and even like Night Doodle coming and like staying with me at my house. Like he's a ROM hack creator from Germany, and him and his girlfriend came and stayed with me for the weekend because they were traveling through like Canada. And I said, "Hey man, if you come to America, you should come down and visit with me." And he
Oh,
didn't
that's
think I was
cool.
serious. And I was like, I'm dead serious, bro. I was like, if you come down, 'cause I've never met any other Kaizo players, like ever. Have you ever met any other Kaizo players in real life,
Just
Bill?
that, just me. I mean, not
So I'm saying
outside, not outside
I've
of
never
this.
I've never met anybody like that, like face to face. That's like, yeah, I play Kaizo Mario. Like other than my doodle at that point. I still haven't actually, other than him. To your original question, no, I never thought I would be where I'm at, where I'm like technically a part of a community. I've never been a part of a community before, and even though I do feel like I'm an outlier still in the community, just because I'm not like someone that's active on the forums or active in the Discord. I don't
Mhm.
participate in any of the contests that they hold and stuff like that. But I try to be, I try to make fun stuff for people.
Well, there's a lot of people that speed run your hacks. That's kind of the same vein.
Yeah. It is kind of wild. There have been a lot of people recently. I've been noticing speedrun.com notifications recently. Get a lot of emails. You have been added as a moderator to this hack. And I'm like, oh shoot, that's cool. And I'll look and I get to watch the videos and stuff. It's really cool.
And you get to see them breaking your level and finding cheese to try to speed run with that you're like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. It's cool though. It's a lot of fun. I'm actually glad people still like to play them. It's nuts thinking about that. They'll just be there like forever or until the website goes away. And even after that, they'll exist in some corner of the internet.
Or
More than likely, which is
somebody's
cool.
computer that they set in the closet and forgot, and one day they'll boot it up and it'll still have the old save files, and you're like, oh yeah, this is the computer my grandpa used to play cracked out version of Super Mario World.
Yeah. Could you imagine? It's funny to think about. But yeah, it's cool though. But yeah, it's fun. I've had a good time though. But yeah, I never expected it would be where it's at, where I'm like you kind of said, you were kind of glazing me. You said I'm kind of known, but I guess people do kind of know me for my games, which is really cool. I'm glad that people in the community, enjoy them. Makes me happy that people have a fun time with them, even if they don't know who I am. If they have fun with the games, I'm really glad they have fun with the games. Because I just got addicted to hack making. I just started like pumping out hacks. Like I just started
Didn't you
building
once
them.
pump out a hack over the weekend, like 2 or 3 days?
Yeah. Well, if it's funny, if you really, I guess since we're actually talking about this, I can kind of talk about it. So, Eclectic Shell was the actual hack that took 1 weekend to build Eclectic Shell, and then I wanted it to be a beginner shell hack, and then it turned out not being a beginner shell hack based on the moderation, and I kind of agreed after the fact. And so then the weekend after it got moderated, I took that same hack and I just pretty much remade it. I left the same overworld. I switched the music for the levels, and then I think I even left the palettes maybe the same, but then I switched around, the level design obviously. So it looks like Eclectic Shell and Sweet Shell look like the same hack. But they're just different hacks. But yeah, both of those hacks actually I made in a weekend. But Sweet Shell was kind of one of those things where I kind of already had a template made, I guess, because I was just taking it and
Okay.
trying to. Which it's funny though because
I mean, Sweet Shell is a completely different game than Eclectic Shell. They share a lot of the same palettes and stuff. So people are like, "This looks like the same game," and they share the exact same overworld. I don't know if I might have changed the palette on the overworld a little bit, but
Yeah,
it's
I,
bad
I
news.
I know I've played Sweet Shell. I think I've played Eclectic Shell, and it definitely was it
It's a
was
little
more
tougher.
challenging than Sweet Shell.
Yeah, it's definitely a little tougher, but yeah, those hacks I did, I made both of those in a weekend. But yeah, Eclectic Shell is technically the one I made in a weekend. But I was really proud of that, man, because with Sweet Shell, I mean, people really like it. There's a lot of people that still message me about that hack, and they're like, "This hack is really fun, and it's really challenging, but I'm getting better at shell jumps." And I'm like, "That's awesome," because there was only Shelltopia. Like that was basically the only beginner like type shell hack at that time was Shelltopia, and I was like, "I've got to make something that's like this easier stuff that I've been making, but like where people can play." Because I love shell jumps, but people in the Kaizo community really aren't too keen on shell jumping. There's a lot of people that just don't like it, or it's just too hard, which is totally, that's totally fine. I mean, it's whatever you like, but I like it. So I wanted people to, have something that was easier, so maybe they would like it too.
Right. If there's any questions that you have, Bud, or anything else that you want to add that I didn't ask, this is we're opening the forum, so to speak, for anybody to ask or say anything you want to at this point within reason. I will add.
Um, I mean, I'll start it off by saying thank you for real for having me. This was really fun, and I always enjoy hanging out with you guys on stream and chilling in your community. And you're a great dude, man. You've always been super, super, super nice. I don't know. It's always fun getting to come and do this. And I think you're like one of the only people that ever actually asked me to do this. So it's like, it does mean something to me. And I appreciate you, wanting to hang out with me, man. It's
Oh,
always
for
cool
sure.
getting to do this. And it's cool seeing your progress, and it's cool just, seeing you part of the streaming sphere and just doing your thing and having fun. And it's cool. It's cool to see like where it goes, because it's like that first hump, like we were talking about earlier. Like people start out streaming, and what do they expect from it? And it's like you just start out and you just do it. And then once you've done it for quite some time, you start kind of becoming more comfortable with it, and you're just kind of, if it becomes part of your routine, it's like something you truly do enjoy, and it can be really fun and special. And then even like this, man, like I mean, you were scrolling, and then you come across me, and then years later, we're here.
Yep. Yeah, and as
That's
far
wild
as
to think about, man. I'm not trying to like talk down anybody, but like I try to look at like the whole Mario World category. So I'm always like cruising through and seeing like new people playing hacks, especially if it's somebody playing one of my hacks, or if it's somebody, say it's somebody that's just saying, 'cause I used to cruise through Twitch all the time, and just if there was someone that was new and there was maybe nobody else I wanted to watch, or even if there was just somebody new and it was like, oh, first Kaizo stream, I would go and like check them out, and then I would watch, and then I'd be like, are you having fun? Good luck. I would never mention my hacks until maybe like they asked, or if they were like, I don't know, maybe they were struggling, and I'd be like, oh, hey, actually, you might want to play a tutorial hack. 'Cause that happens a lot of times. I don't know why I do this, but I will go to people's streams and just watch them. And it's like one person, one viewer, it's their first stream, even. They're not even affiliated or anything. And I hang out because it's like, why not? They're gonna talk to me, because I'm like the only person there. So it's like fun for me to talk to people, and then it's like cool because they're a new person potentially in the community, and I know a little bit about the game they're playing, so I can actually talk to them and be like, "Oh,
right.
yeah, you're actually letting go a jump there," or "Do you know what a regrab is?" And I do remember being in Pixel Stream and talking to him about Kaizo, and it's cool just seeing everybody's like progress. The ones that played Kaizo, especially. Like I know even Shortcut, I think, said she's been playing a little bit off and on, but
Hmm.
it's definitely it's a acquired taste kind of game. You have to really like that type of gameplay to want to grind it. Just like my son, testing the game me and Bear are making. It's like he was like pissed, playing it, because it's like he's not really into that kind of level design. I mean, he'll play it because I'm his dad, and because I'll ground them if he doesn't. No, I'm joking, but I ask him to do it, so he'll do it for me, and give me feedback on it. But that's also really great feedback whenever he gets like angry and he's like, I just want to go fast. I let one of his buddies play it the other day, and the guy just kept running like it was Geometry Dash. And I said, yo, bro, do you know you can push the left on the D-pad, right? He said, I know, but I just want to go fast. And I'm like, well, I guess the level design, leans into that where you can play it very fast. So it's funny. It's interesting. But it's fun all around, man. It's cool seeing,
it's kind of wild you guys telling me, especially like you and like Aaron and some of the other guys like saying about streaming and watching me and stuff. It's pretty crazy. And it's cool, man. It makes me feel good. I'm not one to like, be what is it, like vain or anything, but like
Oh
it's
no,
very
yeah,
it's very cool to like, see that like I've had some type of influence on people. That's kind of wild to
oh yeah, you
to
have.
realize, and it's really really cool. And you guys are all cool and sweet, and I like you guys. So it's very nice, And I'm glad everybody's having fun. You know, this is fun, man. We got to do it again, man. We got
Oh
to do
yeah,
something. I don't know.
we may do a
This is
group
really
one.
cool. I think this kind of interview kind of thing, this whole the way you have it set up is really cool, man. And it's fun, It's fun just to chill and hang out and kind of, and I mean, I love talking about streaming and YouTube. I usually don't talk about this stuff while I'm streaming because I feel like people don't want to hear about it. But it's like with this
See,
kind of, when you're you're doing the video like that, it's like, yeah, people come because they want to see whatever the topic is. I'm basically going to be building for all my streams. I'm basically going to be doing, I mean, I've got to cater to the audience a little bit and give them some Kaizo, but for the most part, I'm going to be building in my game and doing pixel art and maybe even doing some music streams because I've been messing with BandLab. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's just like an online, they call it a DAW, but it's a digital audio workstation or whatever. But it's just they have tons of samples and stuff. And the stuff I've made is not terrible. You'll have to go check out one of my recent shorts. There's some music I made that's on one of those short form videos for the game, and there's some updated sprites and some updated graphics. So if anybody wants to check out that, feel free to. I'm stoked about the game. I'm very proud of it, and I appreciate you being so nice about it, dude. And I see you sharing it in your community and stuff, and it's really nice.
and
It's really too
speaking of,
sweet,
I
and
meant to
you've always
put
been too
this
cool
in
to
there.
me, dude.
All right, Chad. Again, I appreciate everybody for coming out. Mr. Bud, again, thank you so much for doing this. It's been great. Y'all have a wonderful day. Hopefully, we'll be back streaming on Tuesday. Probably back to Mario, or probably back to Mega Man, maybe Mario, not sure. But we'll see y'all then. Until then, y'all stay safe, take care, and ooh-wah.
Peace, guys.